All right, let's talk about the number one reason why you are not getting the clients that you want right now, today, from your time on Facebook, from your posts, from your lives, from anything that you're doing on Facebook. And um, hey, it's July, it's the middle of July, and a lot of people are saying, hey, there's no business in the summertime, nobody's buying, so I'm just going to go and sit by the pool and relax. Well, I'll tell you, people are buying. People are still buying, and people are still selling. And if they can do it, so can you. So there's a ton of things going on, right? There's a ton of reasons why you might not be getting the clients that you want. Maybe you think that the stuff going on in the world and that dreaded R word that everybody's talking about and all the chaos that's happening in the world right now, and that means people are not buying the same way and they are not going to be investing the same way. And that's just not true either, because there's a ton of sales and a ton of buying that's being done right now, and people are still investing. And if other people can be making sales, why can't you? And maybe you just feel like Facebook is saturated and you're feeling a little bit cynical about Facebook, and you're thinking maybe it's time to move to another platform, or maybe things just don't work anymore, or the algorithm's out to get you, or you have to run ads. And really, again, that's just not true. There are tons of people out there making thousands and thousands and thousands every single day just from their organic content and showing up on Facebook and doing the work that needs to be done in order to get clients. Does that have to take all day? No, that could take an hour or two every day. If you knew a system that would get you clients every single day, make you a sale every single day, in an hour or two of work, would you implement that for the summer, just for the summer, or would you also do it in the fall? So listen, all of these are kind of good excuses. We all kind of buy into them sometimes. It happens. There's, nothing, sometimes it happens. It's all we can do. But they aren't the number one reason why you aren't making the sales that you want to make right now. The number one reason why I see that most people are not making the sales that they want is they just are not coming from a place of clarity. They aren't clear about who they work with. They aren't clear about what the number one transformation is that they help people have. They aren't clear about what their offer is, or how to speak about their offer, or how to entice people to take action. And they're in a situation where they're constantly the one doing all the work to get the client and to keep the client and to make the sale. And when you come at it from a place like that, that's exhausting. Maybe you don't have clarity on how what you're selling will actually transform someone's life. Maybe you aren't clear on your own value. And believe me, we've all been there. And that's okay. And it's okay to be in this place right now, because as soon as you recognize other people are selling because they're more clear, because they're showing up every day, because they're showing up multiple times a day, because they're doing the things that are uncomfortable. But it all comes down to clarity. If you guys are not clear on what it is you sell, and I'm not talking about the product, I'm not talking about the modules, I'm not talking about the program, I'm not talking about the coaching. People aren't buying those things today. They're buying the transformation. And even if you're selling skincare from another company and you are repping that company, you're not selling skincare. You're selling the transformation that skincare is going to give people. Okay? That's the clarity. I remember being at a networking event very early in my business years ago, meeting a woman at this event that was the Valley Women's Network. For anybody who's local, you'll remember that name. There was about 50 women in the room. They were all 30 plus pretty much. I'd say 90% of them were 30 plus. And this woman, it was her first meeting. She had paid to have a display table, and she had her beautiful, organic, handmade skincare products on the table with her business cards and her flyers, and she was working the room and walking around and meeting people and giving out her information, and she was probably doing the thing that was really uncomfortable for her to get her name out there, to get her products out there. And so I asked her at one point when we were chatting, who are your products perfect for? Because as a woman at that point in my 40s, I knew that I wasn't going to be buying or using the same skincare products that, say, my daughter at 13 or 18 or 20 was going to be using. My skincare needs are different than hers. So I wanted to know, who are these products for? And this woman looked at me and said, anyone with skin. And in that moment, in a room of 50 women over 30, I could not think of one person to introduce her to. Yet I was in a room of 50 people with skin. You get my point? She said, of course her product can help everybody. But when she said everybody, essentially, I couldn't be helpful. I couldn't introduce her to somebody who would have bought it that day because it was so broad. It was so vague. This is the clarity. If she had said, my cream really helps get rid of whatever these little lines at your eyes are called, and your lines here and your lines here, in women who are over 40, I could have introduced her to a dozen people in that room that day that would have been dying for her products. That's the kind of clarity that we're talking about. So it's not that you're selling a skincare line. It's not that you're selling PLR products. It's not that you're selling a program that will teach people how to make reels. It's not that you're selling a program that will help people get confidence. It's what they do with the system or the product. It's what they do with it at the afterwards, what it allows them to do, what it empowers them to do, right? If you're a life coach and you're saying, well, I help you with confidence, so I can do what? So I could do bungee jumping, so I could ask for a raise, so that I could quit my job and start my business that I've always wanted. What am I going to do with the confidence when I have it from your program? Because it's not the confidence that I'm buying. It's the thing that I've said I've always wanted, but I haven't done yet. It's the result that I've always said I wanted, but I haven't done yet. Clarity. So not only clarity in the transformation, but who is this clarity, who is this service or product best suited for? And we're going deeper than demographics here. We're talking about alignment in our missions and our purposes. When I think of the women that I'm working with today in my private coaching or in my group coaching in the Six Figure Success mentorship group, they are all women with burning missions. They all have a burning desire. They all want to change the world in some way or another. You know what they all have in common? They all personally experienced a challenging, difficult situation that took them out of the situation they were in. Either they could no longer do the job that they were doing. That's the case for most of them, I would say, is they could no longer continue to do the job that they'd been doing. And so they had to reinvent themselves. And in that reinvention, they discovered tools and processes and services that helped them overcome the challenge that they had and achieve a whole new level of joy and fulfillment and love and abundance in their lives by starting their business. Now they do their businesses to help other women overcome a similar challenge. Everybody who works with me has had a challenge they've overcome. They're all women of a certain age. They've raised their families. They've been married for a while. Maybe they're divorced. But they're all looking at life from a different perspective. And they all have something that changed their lives that will change other people's lives. And they just want to get it out into the world. And they're stuck with how to do it on Facebook. So knowing what your solution is that you offer that people will actually buy, knowing who you actually serve is super important. And then clarity on knowing how to use this platform, how to leverage all the features of this platform to maximum effect in a way that is authentic to you, but also pushes you a little bit out of your comfort zone, but does not make it so scary that you retreat like a turtle back into their shell. Okay, there's a lot of features on this platform, a lot of different ways you can present content. There's a lot of different places that you can create content on Facebook. You don't have to do them all. You have to know how to do some of them really well. And then you have to be consistent and repetitive on doing it. But again, you have to have clarity. If you are not somebody who wants to do videos, live videos, then you don't have to do live videos. But then you have to know, you have to have clarity on what it is you can do, what it is you will do, what it is you want to do. Because it's not enough to sit and just do a post and then sit back and wait for people to come in or wait for people to click on the link and a sale to scroll through. That doesn't work anymore. It hasn't really worked since about 2022, 2023. We need to have a system that we can implement on repeat consistently that takes us an hour or two each day marketing our business so that we have time to do the service of our business and then have a magnificent, wonderful life afterwards or, during it. And then we need to show up consistently to do it. We need to take the initiative. We need to be clear on our messaging and on the delivery so that we can show up consistently and see results. Now, you've heard me talking about Ava. I'm going to share just a little bit more about her because, when she started working with me, she has never had a problem creating content. Never, ever, ever. She has never had a problem inviting people to the things that she created, whether it was a paid program or a free masterclass. It was how she was doing it that was not working for her. She wasn't clear on the transformation. She was clear on the process. So she spoke in the terms of the process. It's on Thursday, it's at this time, and it's in this place, and it costs this much money. Those aren't the features that people use to decide what they're buying these days anymore. And then she'd put that information out, and she would just hope and pray that Facebook would show it to the right people, that they would be motivated and inspired, that they would take action, and then they would show up, and then they would buy. That's a lot of hope. And she was doing okay, but she wasn't doing as well as she wanted. The sales were sporadic and inconsistent, and they felt like a lot of work to get to because she was constantly pushing because she was putting out the wrong content. So then about a month ago, she said, something has to shift. I'm not doing this in-person thing anymore. I need to go on, do this program online, and I want to make sales, and I need to recoup this revenue that I lost for over the summer because her in-person event didn't go. And that's when we really dialed in the content that she was going to share here on Facebook. And within 4 days, she had her first sale of a brand new program that she delivered it in person, but never online before, so it's not even fully created. One sale, just from her content. They messaged her. She didn't chase anybody. They messaged her. She replied. She got a script, a little bit of a script, because scripts are boring. Those aren't really authentic, right? So she got like a template of guidelines from me to make sure that this didn't turn into a noodly conversation. And within 4 days, she had her first sale. Within 2 weeks, she had 6 sales. Simply from her content. Clarity around who this offer was for, what transformation they wanted from the offer, and then how to present the offer so that the right people would see it and be inspired by it. Who do you serve? What's the transformation that you help them achieve? So if you want some feedback and some support and some coaching on how you're talking about your offers and who they're for, put that in the chat. Who is your offer for and what's the transformation they'll get from it? Put that in the chat and I will give you some feedback. And let's get working on being more clear and more succinct. And I think this is kind of a big challenge for a lot of women and a lot of women of a certain age, because we've been told for a lot of years to not be clear, not say what we need, not be very bold in our conversations, not be demanding, right? Is that what they say? Don't be demanding. That's all about to change, you guys. That's got to change, because if we want to generate consistent $10,000 months, $20,000, $100,000 months, whatever you want, man, you got to be a whole lot more bold and demanding than we've ever been allowed to be, and now's our time to do that. In the comments, I want you to join me Thursday. This coming Thursday, that's the 17th of July, 1 p.m. PST. We're going to do this on Zoom. It's not happening here in the group. It's in Zoom, so you have to register. I'm going to put the link for you in the first comment. Please go register to the Facebook Profit Formula Masterclass. And I am going to walk you through the system that I teach all of my students, whether they're private, whether they're in the Six-Figure Success Mentorship, whether they're in the Client Attraction Academy. I teach all my clients the system of how to get clear on your offer, clear on your audience, clear on how to talk about it and present it on Facebook so that you get daily sales. I'm going to go through that Thursday in the Facebook Profit Formula Masterclass. Come and join me. Look for the link in the first comment. Register. Come and join me. I can't wait to see you. And it's not too late. Mid-July, we have 6 weeks of summer yet. How much money can you make? All right, you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you thriving on Facebook.